coming from Penn, like a lot of guys realize that, you're 4 years of playing football there and that's it for your professional career. But you also, or not even professional career, there is no like professional career beyond collegiate. But you guys ultimately pursued a professional career in football despite coming from Penn and having other opportunities to pursue other professional interests. So what really, I guess, kind of fueled you and what did you take into consideration to want to go for it in the NFL and to like put all your eggs into that basket despite having this kind of unique vantage point and these unique opportunities?
I think that, you as a little kid, your dream is like either like play football or, go to the moon or do something like that. So for me, it was, I want to be in the NFL as long as I could remember. And, it's always in the back of your mind, like high school, like, oh, it's pretty good in high school. Then you go to school like Penn, like, this is pretty good football. And you play a couple of years and then you come up to your senior year and you just kind of have a moment, for me at least, where I was like, I think I can play at the next level just based on how I played so far and how the people that are supposed to be, the first round picks at offensive line, how I stacked up to them physically. He's like, we're both 6'3", we're both 300 pounds. Like, I think I move better than you. I think I might be stronger than you. So why do you get to play and I don't because I went to Penn? So I've always had that attitude of, if you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to prove you wrong. And it might take me a while, but I'll eventually get there. So throughout my career at Penn, I just played at a pretty good level. I was all Ivy a couple times and got to the point during the end of my senior season, it was like November, December. I was like, I'm going to train for a pro day and I'm going to, go after this. This is my one shot to do this if I want to do it. And, then the spring comes along and everyone's either got a job or they have interviews for jobs and graduation's coming up. And that's when you kind of like double down. Like, all right, I'm not going to go interview at a bank or do something like that. And like, I'm going to keep working out. Like, I didn't go away on spring break. I stayed on campus. I worked out and I was just like, I'm going to get myself in the best physical shape that I can so that I look like an NFL player when I have a pro day or whenever I get in front of a scout, whenever that may be. And, you just kind of, it's not something that happens by accident. And it's something that has to be very intentional. And, it's something that we'd all be kidding ourselves that we didn't say when we started playing football, whenever we were, that like, I'm going to play in the NFL one day.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I would add on that. I think it's extremely tougher for Greg to make it to the NFL in the sense of like, he wasn't looking at someone else already in the NFL where he kind of like that law of attraction, mentally says, oh, okay, well, I played against this guy who is in the NFL now. I clearly can go. But like me, for example, I went against Greg every single day in practice. Greg was already in the NFL. There's stories coming out about Packers camp about the undrafted free agent out of Penn who hadn't lost a one-on-one the entire time, right? No offense. I beat him in one-on-ones all the time. But I was able to look at Greg, oh, wow, like I can do this as well, right? So it's not to say that, without his example, I wouldn't have been able to do like he has done, but clearly having him as a mentor, having him as a big brother, right? Like it was able to feed into me and also just build my confidence. I mean, when I got into the league, I remember telling my teammates at the time, or I guess it should, well, my Penn teammates at the time, former teammates, there's a lot of guys in the Ivy League who could make it and play in the NFL, but just mentally they don't believe or they never give themselves a shot. And I think what you've seen all of us do, like literally the common thread here is like, we all like, I guess what's the war story where you get off on to the island, so to speak, and you burn all the ships. Like we all literally did that, right? Like we didn't have a backup job. I remember interviewing and going into a final round of interviews, going into, finishing up that spring semester of senior year, right? That winter had a final round of interviews. And I just told them, politely, like, actually, you know what? I don't even want to do this because if I get it, I'd rather keep the relationship nice, right? If I get it if I get a chance to go to the NFL, I'm going to the league. Like, it's not, so I don't even want to waste your time like that, right? So just burning the ships. And the last thing I'll say, especially from a Wharton mentality, a business mentality, we all think about investments, right? Investing. And what Greg just spoke about with Jay Watt, I know we'll probably talk about, is like, we were investing in ourselves, like the same way people will talk about, oh, I put in money into the stock market this time and let time take care of itself, right? Our investment has always just been our work ethic, the sacrifices we're willing to make. I didn't go on spring break senior year of college, right? Like, I stayed in, right, the entire time and worked out. I didn't drink my senior year spring semester, right? The first drink I had was after rookie minicamp in Baltimore, where I thought I was going to get cut, right? That was damn near a week before graduation. So I was like, hey, the hell with it at this point, right? But, like, those sacrifices are the things that people don't talk about. I'm not drinking right now. I'm on the middle of a damn diet type of thing, and I think that, a lot of people, there's this Players Tribune article from LeVar Arrington called A Letter to Myself. If anybody gets a chance to check it out, I definitely recommend it. But one of the things he talked about is a lot of people look at you as like a overnight millionaire as soon as you sign that contract. But we've literally invested, like, while our friends were out spring fling and chilling, right? Like, we were still out at spring fling, but we made sure we got in the extra reps, we got in the extra sets, we got in the extra running, we did the extra reps at practice, we pushed each other. Greg was following me around the weight room, making sure I squatted, literally, like, and so I think that is something that all of us have in common, is the investment, but also once we made the decision in our mind to say this is what we're doing, burning those ships, burning the bridge, and let's go forward. The only way is forward.
Yeah, it's funny, man. I don't think I've fully heard Cope's story of his time in college, but it's the formula was kind of the exact same on my end. Like you said, it was awesome having both these guys ahead of me in the NFL. And after my freshman year, I had a pretty good season, and I thought, hey, if I can be one of the top guys in the Ivy League, then maybe I can make it in the NFL. And Greg and Cope coming back to campus, and I remember cherishing every time they come back and talk. And I remember Cope talking about, I think it was his grandfather and the trash can, and if two guys get in, and I mean, that was like, I love that, and I've taken that mentality to so many things in football since I've heard that. And I think too, like you said, burning the ships. In my mind, I always thought of that scene in the Batman movie with Bane, where he keeps trying to jump out of the cave, and he's got the rope attached to him, and he can't make it. And it's not until he finally takes the rope off and jumps, knowing that if he falls, he's going to get hurt, he's going to get messed up, things are going to go wrong, that he finally puts everything he has into it and gets over. And so, like Cope said, the same thing happened for me. I was in the final round of an interview with Goldman Sachs the fall of my junior year, and so it was 2 years away almost from the NFL draft, and that's when I decided, hey, I'm putting everything I have, every ounce of my investment time, everything is going towards football. And Cope said, and Greg said it, it paid off. But it's, in that moment, it's tough and it's stress filled for sure.